Well, let me begin by thanking Brand Innovators for hosting this Marketing Leadership Summit today. And thank you, Mark, for taking the time to share some of your insights on elevating creativity in today's evolving landscape. For those of you who don't know Mark, he is the CMO for PepsiCo's Beverage division. Mark leads brand strategy and marketing programs across PepsiCo's entire beverage portfolio, including Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Gatorade, Bubbly, Starry, and other key brands within the roughly $28 billion U.S. beverage business. Previously, Mark was CMO for PepsiCo's International Beverages. And in 2025, Mark was featured on Campaign's CMO 50 list, highlighting him as one of the most influential leaders this year. Don't laugh, it's all true.
That's nice.
A recognition of his leadership and strategic vision for PepsiCo's beverage brands. Under Mark's leadership, PepsiCo introduced Pepsi Prebiotic Cola and led the strategic acquisition of the prebiotic soda brand Poppi, expanding the portfolio into the emerging better for you category. It is a pleasure to be here today with you, Mark.
Thank you.
So I want to start with something we spoke about before the holidays. You've been coming to CES for many years and have seen it evolve from an electronics convention into a true business and marketing marketplace. You referred to CES as the winter can. From your perspective, how has CES changed and why has it become such an important moment for marketers to do real business?
I think the winter can thing's kind of funny. It's probably true, right? If you think about it, there used to be an advertising festival in France, and then the MarTech companies crashed the beach. Well, basically, the advertising industry's done it here. And I actually started coming. Worked at a company called Forrester Research 25 years ago. I was coming here as a consultant. Then I came here at P&G, and there were no brands here. And I think over the last 3 years in particular, what this conference has become, besides like the winter can where we all get together, which is amazing, it actually has become like a bit of a change agent. And I think it's actually allowed us to open up our conversations around creativity and technology that we didn't do before. You know, it was always about the agencies or always about the media companies or always about the brands and whatever their great ad is. And now it's actually about how are we enabling our business through technology and storytelling. So I think this conference has actually helped us be smarter about the role of tech. And it wasn't that way that long ago. I mean, really what the teams have done here over the last 3 or 4 years is pretty amazing.
Thank you for that perspective. And yeah, it's a great jumping off point for the year too. Yeah. So let's get into this. As we get into the creativity and evolving landscape, my question is where human creativity still wins. So as algorithms increasingly shape what we see, hear, and experience, where do you believe human creativity still has the power to surprise, provoke, and move culture forward? And I have a part two to that too. It's how does that shift change the way creative teams think about building ideas that can travel across platforms and systems?
Look, I think the human is at the center of all creativity, no matter what. I do not fundamentally believe that AI and agentic marketing is going to get rid of human creativity. It is going to change, just like every other technology before it. You know, when e-commerce came out, we thought, oh, retail was going to go away. When mobile phone was taking over, like, oh, no one's going to watch TV again. It's just, look, a TV is just basically a big iPad on your wall. The reality is, like, I think human creativity, as it has in the past, just needs to adapt to new tools. And we need to leverage AI and think about agentic marketing as an enabler, as a partner on the journey, as a way to maybe be a little bit quicker, more efficient, maybe even create more dynamic creative at lower costs. But ultimately, creative starts with an idea and an insight. And those come from people. And whether it's my great creative partners that are in the room, like CBH and others, or it's our media teams who are leveraging it to actually be smarter about our buying and targeting, it still starts with those teams, those people. And I think that is where we have to continuously think about the role of technology. And we have to embrace it. We have to embrace it responsibly, though. And I do think, you know, last year was a lot of conversation about responsible AI, and now everyone's just jumping the shark and going straight to just go do it. I think we still need to be really smart and be responsible about it.
Yep. Thank you for that. So, which is a perfect segue into the next question. So from transactions to true creative collaboration. Some of the most ambitious creative work happens when brands and media partners move beyond transactions toward true collaboration. What makes those partnerships powerful enough to elevate creativity and show up meaningfully in culture?
Look, I think there's, the first thing is trust and transparency. Like, I got a few media partners and customers in this audience right now. Like, if we don't trust each other and lean in and share stuff, and yes, I am looking at you, my friend, like I think that we're just not going to do great work. And we've got to be able to lean in, share data, whether it's in a clean room or not. We've got to allow our creative process to be joint and not wait for the agency on the client side to deliver the perfect thing. We've got to bring media partners in much earlier. We need to get into, the making process and not just the executing process. So I know that sounds so principled and simple, but it's true. Anyone that's had a successful campaign or partnership, whether it's a media company, a customer, a creative agency, it is about working together and actually being closer throughout the process. And I actually think, going back to the technology point, if we embrace technology, it can actually help us even be better at that. So, yes, it is going to make more efficiency. It might even take away some processes we do today, but it actually still requires those relationships to kind of lean into it. And I think that's going to be the big difference maker. And I do think that we need to stop thinking of them as separate. Yeah. Like, we can't think about media separate from creative, separate from customer, separate from agency, separate from client. It's a process, and we all play a different role in it, but we just need to work closer together.
Can I put you on the spot and ask you, can you point to an example that you guys have done or have seen out there that you've really been impressed by?
Yeah, I mean, I think the work we do with BBDO, for example, is great. Like, we've changed our model. It's not the exact same model we had 10, 15 years ago, but like really, really early partnership on creative, really focused integration with our media partners at Omnicom as well. And actually our own internal studio and our own internal creatives and our own internal media teams are at the table from day one. And I, in the past, if we're all honest, it was, hey, go brief the agency, they go in the black box, they spit something out, you either love it or hate it, you move on. I think it needs to be more open. It gets back to this trust and transparency thing. And look, it creates a different kind of tension, but it's a good tension. Yeah. It's a tension when you can call up your ECD and basically say, I think that thing is amazing, or I think that thing sucks, but we can work on it together. And we didn't do that in the past. We followed the process because someone said this is how you do advertising, and I think that has changed. And I think actually it's funny because technology has made it actually easier to have those conversations.
Seems like AI is the enabler.
Yeah, and well, hell, just text. Like, the amount of times you share stuff just via WhatsApp or text. I mean, I'm looking at ECD right now. Like, we text shit to each other all the time. Why? Because we're not waiting for that formal review. We're not waiting for someone to make the idea perfect. We're allowing the process to be more organic, and technology is helping that.
So efficiency and effectiveness, basically.
100%.
Yeah. So something that comes up for me all the time, I hear it personally and professionally, future doom and gloom. I don't see it that way. But looking ahead, I would love to hear what marketers and agencies and media partners need to protect or reimagine so creativity does not just serve, but lead in an age of agents and algorithms.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's you can ask an algorithm, you can prompt something to create something. I'm not sure that's creativity. It is creative or created, but it is not necessarily creativity on itself. And I think this is where, I think where the agency models have evolved and have to continue to evolve, and actually brands have to evolve along with it, is we have to start using technology at every step of the way. I think, and I'm not saying, you have to go and create all AI generated ads. What I'm saying is that if I look at our process today, I will use AI for insight development. I will use AI for concept development. I will use AI for animatic. And our agencies, we put out the best damn animatics. Like, I go to my CEO, he's like, well, can't we run that? I'm like, no. But some people are doing that, right? And so I think if you just use it at every step of the way, creativity becomes an amplifier, a multiplier of creativity, because technology allows you just to get a little bit better, a little bit faster, a little bit smarter, and then you repeat. And I think that's the kind of process that we're in right now. And we're getting, if I look at how we're turning around work today, we're a hell of a lot more efficient. And is the creative necessarily better or worse? It's not the technology that's doing it, it's the idea good. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have received so many awards over the past year, so clearly it's working. So the Super Bowl remains one of the biggest cultural moments of the year. And Pepsi will have 2 spots this year. As the steward of a brand so deeply connected to that stage, how do moments like the Super Bowl shape your creative ambition?
Well, I think the first thing is you should never just make something for Super Bowl for the sake of making a Super Bowl ad. And I think we've all made that mistake, if I'm honest, because too often it becomes a one-off and it doesn't necessarily build and kind of tell the story of the brand over time. I think for us, PepsiCo has been involved with Super Bowl for decades, right? This year on Beverages, we've got Pepsi Zero and Poppy, and we've got Lay's doing a spot as well. And the reality is, you only get one shot a year to get that kind of reach, and you can talk to a lot of people in the industry who will basically use it as such a pivotal moment. But to me, it's a pivotal moment because it has to be part of a longer story that you're telling. Because if all you do is make a great Super Bowl ad, which we've all done, and you don't continue to tell that story, then it's just a really expensive impression that didn't build your business for long term. But it's expensive. It's only expensive if you don't maximize the value you get from it. And the value you get from it is a 4 to 6 week conversation that can continue all summer long. That's what you need to actually look at for the Super Bowl.
Thank you for that. So, last question. What's your prediction for the Super Bowl?
Well, I have to be honest, I'm a Commanders fan, so thank you. I was kind of hoping. I lived overseas for 9 years. I'd come home and get to see my team play. And last year I was like, wait, maybe this year would be great. I'm not a Pats fan. To all the Pats fans here, even though I'm from Boston, so I hope the Pats aren't in it. I actually, if I had to pull, and this is both heartstring and relationship, I hope the Bills go all the way. Because one, Josh is a Pepsi guy, and he's been a partner of ours. We're a partner of the Bills.
Yep.
Anyone that loves storytelling and heartache has to feel it. If you ever watched the Four Falls documentary on Netflix, it's awesome, sad. But I would love, Josh Allen to win it, for Norwood, basically.
Thank you.
And I hope they play San Francisco, just because it's in Santa Clara. That would be kind of cool.
You got to feel for the Bills in Buffalo. I hear you. Well, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate all the insights. This is a lot of fun. And enjoy the rest of your CES.
Oh, thank you guys. Appreciate it.